What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter, and sponsored by the One Football app. As you know, for all your up-to-date footballing news, make sure you scroll down into the description, download the app, and enjoy, guys. Also, before we start, I'll start my fight camp today. Tickets have come through. 8th of March, guys. Got your standard tickets. £40 standard tickets, £65 VIP tickets. They've come through now. So inbox me on Instagram if you would like to buy a ticket. Last fight was at the O2 as a 3,000 capacity. This one, I'm co-promoting at a venue in Embankment. It's a very nice venue, but it's only 1,000-seater. So the tickets are going to go quickly. I've only taken 250 tickets. So I've taken 200 standard tickets and 50 VIP tickets. That's what I've taken. The rest is with my business partner, and it's going to be distributed to the other fighters. So once mine are gone, I don't know how much more I'll have access to. There's going to be plenty of other fights on the night. We've got a super series, a middleweight super series with 8 fighters, which is going to be like a knockout tournament. The winner wins a grand cash and a belt, so that's going to be very exciting as well. So it's going to be a super fun day, and obviously I'm going to get a knockout as well. So let me know if you want a ticket. It's Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram. Message me on Instagram. Twitter gets a bit too congested. Also, any of you guys, if you're watching from Australia, I said on the Flex and Rant show as well, if you know any reputable organizations that I can donate some of my some money to, please let me know, innit? I'm going to be donating some money. Everyone knows what's going on over there. Tragic situation at the moment. And last time I raised some money for the homeless, which I will still do. However, I'm definitely going to raise some money for that. So if you know any organizations, then let me know. Okay, I think that's everything. And let's go into your questions, some bloody good ones as usual. First one, Awazi2. It says, hashtag Rants Red Talk, would you play Martial as a 10 and Greenwood as a striker and Rashi and James on the flank? Alright, let me tell you what I would definitely try if I was the Manchester United manager. I would try a 3-4-1-2. I would try Wan-Bissaka as a right centre-back because he's good on the ground, he's got pace, no one gets by him. He's good enough in the air. He's not great attacking-wise. I'd play Victor Lindelof as left centre-back of the 3, and I would play Harry Maguire centrally. That's what I would do. On the left-hand side, I would play Brandon Williams. The right-hand side, I would play Daniel James. I'd play Daniel James as a wing-back. I think Daniel James will make a very good wing back because attacking wise, like, he's not too creative, but he's got pace and he can get up and down and he puts in the defensive shift. We all know what Brand does. Middle 2, I'd play Pogba and Fred. In the hole, in the 10 position, I would play Anthony Martial there, and I'd play Rashford up front with what's his name? With Mason Greenwood. The reason why I would play Rashford up front in a 2 is I believe that he can play up front in a 2, just not in a 1, because he needs someone close to him because he's not very good at holding the ball up. However, Mason can do that. Also, Martial's creativity and his passing of the ball means that Martial could play in that withdrawn 10 role. He could. There's an argument to say Rashford could play in that because Rashford would give you the energy chasing people. Yes, Rashford could do that, but Rashford can't really pass like Martial. He doesn't have the finesse and the weight of pass. Rashford likes to knuckleball everything. He likes to hit everything hard, and I think he might overhit a lot of the passes. So I don't know how creative he is, even though he did say that he used to play in the 10. But I think it was more as a second striker as opposed to an actual creative number 10. But I think that formation, yeah, is worth looking at with the players that we have, because we don't have any wingers, so I wouldn't mind playing a wing-back system. Also, the number 10 thing is just a problem. So you get rid of all of those issues, and still in the back 3, you still got Tuanzebe that could come into that with a 3. Do you know what I mean? There's less margin for error. I think Daniel James will give you that up and down stuff anyway without you being overly reliant on him to score goals, because he's not scoring goals at the moment. But if you've got Martial, Rashford and Greenwood all playing, you don't really need to worry about the fact that Daniel James ain't scored since September. So I think that sorts that out. And then with Williams on the other side, you know you're going to get that energy up and down the other side. So I think with the players that we have, that's a formation I personally would try. I think that Wan-Bissaka can definitely do a job right centre-back in the free as opposed to playing as the wing-back, because attacking-wise, as we all know, it's not his greatest strength. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. At Martial_FC, it says Maddison or Grealish. Maddison is 80 million, Grealish is around 45. Both performing well, one with good players around him and the other with rubbish players. I said the S word, but I'm making a conscious effort in 2020 to swear as little as possible. You know, the ones there. So, yeah. I agree. And for me, Grealish is more my kind of guy. I like him, innit? The low socks, the arrogance, the tattoos. Like, he just looks like a proper scumbag, but just mad techie with it. Do you know what I mean? He's my kind of player. Grealish just oozes like nonchalance, bruv, and that's what I like. Those are my kind of players. That's why my favourite players at Manchester United, favourite, have been Eric Cantona's, have been Berbatov's, have been Van Persie's. Guys that are just super nonchalant. Like, they play the game at their own pace. They don't respect anyone. They have unshakable confidence in their ability. And I think that Grealish is just a Manchester United player, man. He just oozes. He's just got that aura about him, innit? And I think that Sir Alex Ferguson would have definitely been all over him. Like, he's in a relegation team at the moment. And I honestly think, yeah, that they need the money. And if we slapped 45 M's down for him, I think it would be too good to turn down, in all honesty. So for me, I prefer Jack Grealish. And I do like Madders as well. I think Madders is a very good player. Very techie. Very confident also. Got 2 good feet. You know what I mean? But Grealish for me, also Grealish has got a bit more of a stature about him as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he can be in the trenches with you as well. Like, everything about Jack Grealish, I just like. But I do like Madders as well. So, literally, if we get either of them, I'll be over the moon. But if I had a choice, as the manager, I'm going for man like low socks, Grealish, bruv. Let me know what you think, guys. Grealish or Maddison, and why? At Naldo UTD. Hope this ain't late. It's not, bro. I got you. Who from this current midfield would you keep in the starting lineup for next season, and how would you set up? 4-3-3 with 1 DM or 4-2-3-1? 4-2-3-1 is not the formation that Manchester United should be playing. I touched on this in the Flex and Rant show that I filmed earlier today, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Let me tell you something about a 4-2-3-1 is a formation that's supposed to contain the opposite team. It's not a counter-attacking formation. It's a formation that you're supposed to have a lot of the ball in. Manchester United don't play a style of football that means we get a lot of the ball. So why do you need 2 deep lying players? It just doesn't make sense. I'd play a 4-3-3. I'd buy Wilfred and Didi. Everyone's talking about Maddison, and Didi's the player from Leicester that man need. You buy Wilfred and Didi, then you have Fred and you have Pogba in a free. That free is the best free in the Premier League if you get that together. Because Liverpool have a good free of Fabinho, Henderson or whatever, and Keita or whatever. But I tell you what, that Manchester United free of Ndidi, Fred and Pogba is better than that. It is, like, without any doubts in my mind. So for me, you sign Ndidi, you play a 4-3-3. Like, that's it. Like, that's what I would do. Like, if you want Manchester United to get back to being one of the best in the Premier League, start getting one of the best, get the best of the rest players, like I've said before. And Ndidi, statistically, is better than Kante in that DM role. All the numbers say Ndidi. Everyone's been gassing Kante because of what Kante has won and what he's done previously. But for the last 18 months, Ndidi's been better than N'Golo Kante. But he's not playing for Chelsea and he didn't win a World Cup. But Ndidi's numbers don't lie. And the reason why I use numbers for a player like Ndidi or Kante is because what they do is a lot easier to quantify, because like Jules 1 interceptions made, tackles won. Those are things to easily, or interception. Yeah, I said interceptions, duels, tackles, ground cover. These things are easy to kind of put down on paper. Whereas when you've got certain players that play in between the lines, like an Iniesta, if they're not getting goals or assists, it's hard to kind of quantify what they do on paper. You kind of have to watch. But with a defensive midfielder that breaks up the play, you can get stats for that, innit? And indeed, these stats are better and have been better for the last 2 seasons. Let me know what you think in the comment section regarding the formation, guys. Or if there's any other formation I haven't mentioned that you wouldn't mind seeing. At Bake Pearson, it says, how much longer do you think Ed will put up with these performances knowing Poch is jobless? Do you think they'll stand by him and back him in the transfer windows? I don't think that Ollie's going to get backed. I don't think that we're going to buy anyone in January. And I think that Pochettino comes in the summer. I think that Manchester United are going to go on a run of some very bad results, if I'm being completely honest with myself. Because McTominay is not available. Pogba's not available. We don't have a midfield. And our midfield is going to get ran through. And I sincerely believe that we've still got Liverpool to come away from home. We've still got Man City to come away from home. I believe that there's plenty unwinnable or losable games on the horizon. And with the current midfield and a potential injury to Harry Maguire, we could be in a lot of trouble. I really do believe that. And if you remember, the season before LVG got sacked, Woodward came out in January calling him a genius, this, that and the other. These times he was speaking to Mourinho. So Woodward cannot be trusted. And I just think out of all the managers that could have been given time by the club, Ollie's the least experienced, least talented, worst win rate. If Ollie is the manager that they choose to give time out of all the previous names, then it just shows what a state this club is in, because if anyone doesn't deserve any time, it's Solskjaer. Let me know what you think regarding possibility of Pochettino in the summer. Okay, at Life by Sonu. Why do we have printed game plans when other teams can change their plans mid-game and we would not have any way to counter them? I don't know exactly what like you meant by that, but what I'm going to take from that is, why do we have pre-printed like strategies in the folder, yeah, when the manager should be reacting to what's going on in the game? Bro, I don't know. Again, that's another thing that shows me that Ollie does not have a clue, because what could possibly be printed in those sheets, yeah, that's going to be beneficial in the game? Because Ollie's not psychic. Ollie doesn't know what's going to happen in the game before it happens. So anything that's printed is useless. It's null and void. Like, if there was anything that you already knew about the team previously, you could just discuss it before the game. You wouldn't need a printout. If you know, for instance, you're playing Chelsea and you're going to say, Jorginho's the playmaker, so I want my number 10 to sit on Jorginho, man mark him, press him to stop him from dictating the tempo of the game. If Chelsea are going to play like that, they're always going to play like that. And then if they're not playing like that, you don't need something in a printed folder to remind man, oh yeah, so Jorginho. So what the hell what is Ollie got printed down, bro? Like, I don't understand, because Ollie doesn't have a pattern of attacking play or defensive play. So it can't be shape related, what he's showing Mason, because we don't have one. So whatever Mason is looking at in there is nonsense. So I don't know what we have in there. I don't know why we have it, but it just highlights to me how inept Ollie is as a manager. As far as managers go, I think he's the worst manager I've ever seen in Premier League football. And I'm being nice. At Mr. Mac's son, do you think there's a massive problem with either our medical department or Ollie's training methods, as players seem to regularly get semi-serious injuries and never come back when expected? Tuanzebe, Delo, Pogba, Martial, Bailly. I do and I don't. I think that there is a problem in terms of, I think that our medical team is not good enough for the stature of club we are. I also believe that because the squad's so thin, I just think that these guys are being overworked. Ollie doesn't rotate the team well because, again, Ollie's got no structure. So because Ollie's got no structure, he very much relies on his best players to get results. Whereas the other night, Liverpool made God knows how many changes and beat Everton's near enough their first team, because Liverpool have a structure and a style of play that still exists without the first choice players. United don't have that. So we don't have the luxury of resting players because Ollie doesn't know how to coach football. That's just how it is, unfortunately. All the guys that are blindly supporting Solskjaer, that's fine, innit? But I'm just going purely on football. The guy has not got a clue. Like, the style of play should not be determined by the 11 that are on the pitch. The football should be the same. So, yeah. And also, with the Pogba injury, again, I think that was down to him to rush himself back. And, yeah, it hasn't worked out. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of the other players have kind of felt obliged to rush back because the squad's thin and they want to help the team. That's all it is. With Dalot, I just think he's injury prone. I don't think that's anything to do with the Manchester United medical staff. And also, I think that Ollie's communication is piss poor. Like, even the communication of the Pogba injury, when he was like, oh, Pogba might be playing later and that. And then he was like, oh, he spoke to his people and decided not to play. He didn't clarify that he got a second opinion from a specialist in France. He just said he spoke to his people. So a lot of people were saying, oh, Pogba wants out, he's faking the injury, Raiola's telling him not to play. When in reality, it wasn't that. So I think that Ollie's communication skills, his commanding of a press conference and his conveying of a message is so poor. Bro, how can the players respect him? How? How can anyone respect him when he can't even get across his message? The only time Ollie had anything about him was when Van Persie criticised him and then he came out waffling about the number 20 shirt and medieval times. What the hell was that, bro? That was all looking like Eric Cantona's when the seagulls come to the trawler, fam. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That's a load of nonsense, bruv. I don't even know, innit? Like, don't get me started on this Don, because I could do a whole show talking about this guy. Let me know what you think regarding our injuries and our fitness team. Julian, I'm not even, bruv. Julian Durov, I don't know, bro. That looks like a Bulgarian name or like somewhere from there, bro. I'm sorry, can't pronounce your name. Is David De Gea one of the players that needs a short break? His performances have become worse recently. Do you think it's because of the expectations that we have and probably personal problems that he has off the pitch? I don't know, you know, guys. I've always said I question David De Gea's attitude, and I just think that David De Gea is complacent. I think he's past his best, and he's never really had any competition at Manchester United. So I'm not going to say he doesn't care, because he does care, but I just think that he needs a rocket, bro. Like, he feels untouchable at Manchester United because he got back-to-back player of the seasons. He got a new contract, all of these things. And he just feels like he's untouchable, irreplaceable. And because of that, I feel like I read somewhere that they were saying that the level of his training and the intensity of his training has decreased, and his relationship, obviously he's got a good relationship with the goalkeeping coach, but they're saying that it's not intense enough, and that because Romero has a sketchy kind of injury record, there's never any consistent pressure on De Gea. So I think he's just complacent and he's comfortable. That's what I think it is, to be honest. I do think that he needs to be dropped. I do, because every time Romero comes in, he never sets a foot wrong. He never lets us down. And I think that De Gea needs to be shown that no player is undroppable if they're not playing well. So I personally would drop David De Gea. Like, he's statistically one of the worst goalkeepers in the league in terms of shots faced and quality of shots faced and saves made. He's letting in goals that he should save. And this is statistically proven. This isn't my opinion, because everyone knows I do rate him as a goalkeeper, but he hasn't been playing well. Let me know what you think regarding David De Gea. At JReed121212. Should fans start boycotting games in order to protest the Glazers and hit them where it hurts their pockets? Absolutely. Absolutely they should. However, within this fan base, we've got such a divide, and there's so much nonsense going on. This will never happen, innit? It needs to happen. It should happen. And even more so when we don't sign anyone in January. That should be the final straw for a lot of fans, and they should protest. However, they won't. And that's why I genuinely believe, as sad as it is to see, the reason why the Glazers have been allowed to do this is because there's a certain part of the fan base that are facilitating the Glazers' nonsense. They'll back Ollie blindly. They'll say you must support the club no matter what. They'll still go to the games and do all of these things, but they don't understand that supporting the club means wanting what's best for the club. And if that means getting a new manager and getting new owners, then you do everything in your power to make that change, innit? That's what really supporting a club is. Not just blindly just keep putting money in the Glazers' pockets, yeah, and not doing anything about it. You're not disrespecting a badge if you're protesting against the Glazers, because the Glazers are not Manchester United. So these guys need to get that into their heads. I don't know if they have the intellectual capacity to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these fans that are behaving that way are not very intelligent, if I'm completely honest. So I don't really know, but that's what needs to be done. And last but not least, something that, I don't know, I wasn't going to touch on it, but I think I should anyway. It says, it's from @Flinzer89, red issue allegations. If any of you guys haven't seen it on Twitter, there's some fanzine called the Red Issue or something. Like, I don't really know too much about them, but they've come out making some accusations of at Full-Time Devils and at the United Stand, saying, oh, they're media owned channels, they're not really fan channels. Rants is managed by some big agency that manages Michael Carrick and have Gary Neville's sister, which is true. And he worked for Vice and that, and basically like I'm a media plant or something, and it's owned by a big corporation, and we're trying to make money off Manchester United and all this other nonsense, and just talking rubbish, innit, and trying to discredit the channel. Honestly, anyone that supports the United Stand and supports me knows that that's a load of dog. I nearly swore, but I didn't. You know them ones. I spoke to my dad last night, yeah, and he said that he went into Usain's bar in Jamaica, and then man were paying my show, and the guy was saying how good my content is and that, and saying that, right, like just constructive criticism, maybe I could swear a little less. And also, I said for my New Year's resolution that I'm gonna try and swear less in it. So man just dodged a bullet right there, innit? But yeah, where was I? Yeah, that's nonsense. Anyone that knows me knows first and foremost that I was a brand in my own right before I joined the United Stand. So the reason why I have management is because I am not just the guy that's on the United Stand. I have independent ventures. I wrote a series for Vice before I was on the United Stand. I never worked for Vice. I collaborated with them, just like I collaborated with BBC Sport, like I've collaborated with E4, like I've collaborated with BBC 5 Live, like I've collaborated with Sky Sports. Like, I've been about, do you know what I'm saying? I've been successful. Like, I've been nominated for awards. I've done all these things, even independent of the channel. So I had my own following. That's the reason why I'm the only one with a tick on all my things. I'm verified on Instagram. I'm verified on Twitter. Because I've been out here. How I got into the United Stand was I done a fan cam. It went viral. And loads of people in the comment section were like, yo, we need to get Rants on, yeah? Get this guy on more often. And then me and Flex sat down and said, yo, let's do a show together. So I joined the United Stand already, having success in the media before that. So I wasn't planted by the media, and I'm not getting paid by the media. Like, I don't get paid to do fan cams. I was a match going fan, and I was going to games anyway. That's how I met Flex. We didn't know each other before. Like, the United Stand's not owned by no media company. If it was, could we be going on there and talking about the Glazers, talking about ex-players, talking about current players? There's a reason why Full-Time Devils, who are owned by a media company, yeah, put out the kind of content they do, but compared to the raw, uncensored content we put out. If we were owned by a media company, we couldn't openly just say what we want. We couldn't, but we do, because we run it completely independently. So we know who's leaked this nonsense, yeah, to the red issue, who we don't care about anyway, because we're bigger than the red issue. And honestly, like, you can't derail what we've already built, because you lot have seen the time, the effort, the consistency, the hard work that's gone into building the United Stand, from being a small channel of 180,000 subs when me and Flex joined to over 610,000. We are massive. Like, and the honest truth is, the people that don't support us are the only people that would believe that nonsense. And the nonsense is coming from a magazine whose opinion I don't care about, because they've never supported me or the channel. And also, the magazine's smaller than us. So what can you do? You can't do nothing. The United Stand are here to stay regardless. So you can print all your crap all you want, but the facts are, there's no evidence or proof to suggest anything that you said is a fact, and it's not. So honestly, like, we're laughing at you. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, it is what it is. Like, we're the biggest and only independent Manchester United fan channel of any of that, of the ilk that we are. We really give fans an opinion. We're the only Manchester United independent channel that actually speaks to all fans, has multiple different opinions and agendas on it. It's not just everyone's Ollie in on our channel, or everyone's Ollie out, or everyone rates Lingard, or everyone doesn't rate Lingard, or everyone likes Rashford, everyone doesn't. Me, Mark, Flex, Saeed, everyone else that comes on the channel, all have different opinions. And we let people with all different opinions on our channel. We are the only channel of our kind, Manchester United channel of our kind, on the internet. And we are the best. And because we are the best, we have the most followers, our things do the most numbers, and that will not change, not due to any nonsense that any stupid channel wants to leak about us. Like, it doesn't make a difference, bro. Water off a duck's back, as they say. So I'm glad they've sorted that out. And also, with me signing to my management, you did know, because I told you and I thanked you guys, because that's down to you lot. I've been doing a lot of hard work. Things have been going well. My show's sponsored now. I've got management. That all comes down to my hard work and my work ethic. And also, like, I must have some talent. And the guy also brought up that, oh, my brother does the same thing for Tottenham, because my brother's very talented. We share the room. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of similarities with mine and my brother's content. There's a lot of stuff that naturally he's going to pick up from me. And guess what? We just come from a talented family. Like, my youngest brother is in the best drama school in London at the moment as we speak. So I come from a talented household. So that's why we're all doing well in this kind of industry, because it's just in our DNA to be that way, innit? So United Stand ain't owned by no media company. My management has nothing to do with the United Stand. It's independent, because I'm an independent brand. Rants and Bants Limited was active long before I joined the United Stand. So all of that nonsense, like, they know where they can put that. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. That was your Rants Thread Talk, guys. Big up yourselves. Make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Rants and Bants. If you want your fight tickets, make sure you message me on Instagram. Like, don't message me nowhere else, because it will probably get lost. And yeah, man, One Football app, as you know, go down, download that. And obviously for your merch, for your King merch, you've got your discount code in the description, and I've got some new merch coming for you very soon. It's been designed. All I can say is presence, blood. It's en route. I'm starting my fight camp. So yeah, I think I'll be wearing that very shortly, guys. It's been emotional. Enjoyed that. Some very good questions. Hope you guys have fun this evening, and I'm going to go. And yeah, get on the bags, get on the mitts, and let's get this working.